guys, and welcome to my channel, Kel's Stitches. I'm Kelly, and this is a channel where I talk about all things across stitching. Today it is Flosstube number 87, and it is the Monday the 23rd of March 2026. I'd just like to say welcome to any new subscribers, and welcome back to any of my existing viewers and subscribers. Very much appreciated that you come back and watch me every time I put a video up. Alright, so let's just, as usual, get straight into what I have stitched on in the last fortnight. The first one I am going to show you is going to be this one. It is Legal High by Long Dog Samplers. This is what it'll look like when it's completed. I'll put up a picture of where it was last time we seen it, and this is currently where I am up to with it. So I have finished off all of this down this side here. I worked on this for 2 days and I got 1,000 stitches into it. This is being stitched on an 18 count Aida that I dyed myself, coffee tea dyed myself, and it is using Silks for You floss. 3 colorways. We have, if I can find them, PR151 for the dark brown. Everything's going to fall off my lap. Fall down. PR149 for the light goldish colour. And PR192 for the bronzy or the dark gold looking colour. So those are my 3 colorways, with the majority of it going to be stitched in the dark. So yeah, I am really happy with that. Oh, I got this little bit done here as well. So I am going to keep, next time this gets called in my rotation, I'll keep working on the dark, and then I'll go and put all the other colours in once I get to it. But yeah, it's moving on really nicely. I am loving how this whole thing is looking. It looks amazing in the colours. So got another one of these over here before I can move down to the middle section of the project. Get back in your bag. Pick my diary up off the floor. Throw that back in there. Alright. The next one that I worked on was this one. It is called Sunflower Patchwork. It is a Shannon Christine Designs pattern. That is what it'll look like when it's completed. And it's only tiny. It's only 92 by 93 stitches. So it's a tiny, tiny little project. And put a picture up where it was, and now this is where I'm currently at with it. So that is the size of the whole thing. Yeah, you can't really see. Oh, there we go. The colour's a little bit better. I'm hoping that those white stitches will stand out just a little bit more once I get all the other colours in. onto this fabric. The fabric is, I don't know if it's going to show true to colour. It's another fabric that I dyed myself, 18 count, and it is, I think I just used a tan, a very light tan. But yeah, so I worked on this for 2 days and I got 1,100 stitches into it. Now all I'm doing in Pattern Keeper is I am just choosing the colour with the least amount of stitches and just working with it, and I'm going to leave the colour with the most amount of stitches to last. So that was that one. Now we move on to this one, which is Modern Folk Embroidery Pattern. This was the sale for 2024, called No Time Like the Present. And this is what it'll look like when it is completed. I'm not doing it in this colorway. You could choose, obviously you could stick with that colorway, or you could choose a different one. So I just put it into Pattern Keeper and just played around with some colors and came up with these ones. So that is now where I'm up to. This is being stitched on a 20 count Rustico, that's called, and I am using the colorway of 832 for the yellow or the gold, and 322 for the blue, and I am just using a bit of DMC diamond, gold diamond, in here in sections, just to give it a little bit of sparkle in places. So yeah, that's where I'm up to with it. I worked on it for 2 days and I got 1,200 stitches done, which was all in this blue here. So when I was stitching on, I was kind of hoping to finish off this section here, but I just couldn't quite get there this time around. But that will be my plan for next time it gets called in the rotation. I will stitch in there, then I'll do the bit that's in here, and then I can move at the Q-snap. And I think I will, yeah, I'll move it over to finish off. I think I am over 50% done with this. So it is getting there, slowly but surely. Now, my next project that I'm going to show you is Tiger Lily. Artwork is by Laurie Prindle and it is charted by Pain Free Crafts. Now this is what it'll look like when it's completed. I am working over here in this section, and I'm debating on whether I go, because I've still got these couple down. Oh yeah, I'm sort of working in here, but I've got a couple of pages down here to fill off this part. So I'm debating though whether leaving those and heading up and going across and back through, filling it in, and then coming back down and around and filling it all in. But I will decide that, I suppose, once I finish this next page. So here we are. This is being stitched on 18 count, yes, 18 count Ada, using all the DMC colours. This was a Crystal Club kit that I purchased with one of my vouchers, and it is looking amazing. As you can see, I got this page completed. So now I'll work over into here. As you can see, these are the pages that I was talking about to finish off across there, but I am thinking that rather than going down and doing them ones, I'm going to go upwards. I'll go up and go across the top of the project and come back down. I start, for any newbies, I start in the middle, so that's why I have all this done. And when I was, so the middle was here, was these 2 pages, and then I went up and done one eye. Oh no, I'd done these, and I asked the partner, where should I go from there? And he said he wanted to see the eyes, so that's what I done. I moved up and stitched the eyes in. And yeah, look at that. How amazing does that look? I absolutely adore and love Sarah's charting. The charts are so easy to read. Even if you're using probably a paper chart, I think they would be very easy to read. And the good thing is Sarah tries not to overdo the colours. She will get the detail and everything into the pattern without needing extreme amount of colours. So yeah, I really do like the way Sarah charts her patterns. I worked on this for 2 days, and I got 1,500 stitches into it and a page finish. So yeah, I sort of really pushed myself to get the page finish because I really wanted it done. But it looks amazing. That's you. And then I worked on Protector. And the artwork is by Katie Lipscomb, and it is also a Pain-Free Crafts chart. This is what it'll look like when it's completed. If you've been with me for a while, you'll know that this is my Focus on a Finish project for the year. So I work on this every fortnightly rotation to be able to finish it by the end of the year. Now, this is currently where I am up to. Yeah, this is currently where I'm up to with it. Now, I worked on this for 2 days and I got 1,200 stitches into it, which was filling in all of this. Now, I did get a page finish up here, but I am not counting them on my boards because I'm going to have plenty of page finishes, and all of these pages here are only partials because I have eliminated all the background. So I'm not even going to worry about counting them as page finishes. Now, this is being stitched on a 16 count Aida that I dyed myself in a lovely apple green colour, which that's probably about as true to colour as I was going to get there. So yeah, so now I've moved down into this page and started. So we've only got this little bit of colour down in this page. Once I'm done there, I will probably move over to get some more, but that's the whole thing. That's what the whole thing looks like. Yeah, I do really love this project. And if it wasn't for the green fabric, I would have stitched the whole lot. But there was so many white stitches, or like pale stitches in that background, that I was like, I am not stitching all of those. I am going to do it on a coloured fabric to take all those stitches out. So that is what I've done. All right, on to the next project. Oh, come here. And it is this one here. It's called Wolf Duo. I'm currently not stitching on either of those. I was stitching on that motif down there that I stitched 2 of them in between the two patterns, which you'll see because I'm going to show you. So there we are. I got them both finished. They're not, I did not do the exact colours that was called for on the pattern because I wasn't going to get extra colours for them. I just substituted colours that I already had for these 2 patterns, which I thought would tie them in pretty nicely to the to these 2 anyway. So I have that one done, and now that I have these 2 completed, I will be working on this one next time. But yeah, I even have all the back stitching done on both of them. There's meant to be a bit of cording and some French knots down here, which I decided to leave off because I think that they look fine the way they are. Now this is being stitched on just a scrap bit of 16 count Aida, just one of those pieces that you have left over when you cut out a big bit of fabric for a full coverage. It was just one of them pieces that didn't sort of, it's only good for small ones, so I thought why not. I knew I had these patterns and I thought that'll be perfect, and I'll probably make this into a bit like a bell pull type of a situation, maybe with a bit of timber top and bottom, and maybe even put some feathers off, hanging off it and stuff like that. But yeah, so I worked on this for 1 day and I got 450 stitches in to finish off this one. Yes, this one here. And then I done all the back stitch, and I don't count my back stitching because it is a pain in the backside to count it. So I didn't bother counting the back stitching, which I never do on any of my projects. So with the amount of back stitching that's on them, I would probably say that I've done probably another good 400 stitches. I would be guessing, with the amount of back stitching that was required for those. But yeah, I am very happy that I've got them little motifs done now, and I can move on to the next wolf. So yeah, and they are Doreen Jones patterns, and they were out of, I think it's just Cross Stitching magazine. I don't know what oh, the World of Cross Stitching magazine, but I don't know what edition or issue it was, because these patterns were given to me by Judy, whose channel is now An Aussie and a Kiwi Go Travelling. She gave me those patterns, so I can't tell you what edition it was. And when I look up Doreen Jones, I can't actually find those patterns either. So they must have just been an exclusive for the World of Cross Stitching. Right. Next project that I am going to show you is this one. It is called Read More Books. I thought it was only a tiny pattern. It's got nearly 12,000 stitches into it, so I don't actually know if I am going to get this one done this year, unless I pull my finger out and really concentrate on getting it stitched. I am currently working in this section in the middle here. So, and it is by Happy Mood Point from off Etsy. I think they are now called Daily Pattern Post. But either way, put in Happy Mood Point or put in Daily Pattern Post and you will find their shop. Now, there we are. That is where I am up to with it. So, I worked on this for one day and I got 700 stitches into it, and it is just being stitched on 16 count white Aida. And so yeah, got a little bit of good progress into it. I'm thinking that I might have to, this fabric's very stiff and I'm kind of not enjoying stitching on it. So I might have to take it out of the nudge and throw it in the washing machine just to see if I can get some of that stiffness out of it. I like my fabrics to be taut in the frames, but I also like them to be soft. If they're too stiff, I find it's hard to pull the needle and thread through, whereas if they're nice and soft, the needle and thread go through really nicely. But I do prefer my fabrics to be taut as well. But so it's looking starting to look good. You can see the books coming in. So once this is completed, I don't know what I'll do with it, whether I'll frame it and maybe donate it to my local library. I'm not sure. I will see. I am a big book reader, but I don't know if I'd ever display it in my house, or I'll just finish it and throw it into the box where all of my other finishes are. All right, so the last one that I worked on was this one. It is called Sample of Butterflies. It is also a Happy Mood Point pattern. So that's what it's looked like when it's completed. It is meant to be a monochrome piece, but I am doing it in several different colors, as you can see by my notations on the pattern, on the cover page. So, and this is, just let me pop this clamp off this Q-snap. So this is where we're up to. Last time you've seen it, it was just this butterfly that I had done here. And I want to work around the outside, get all the outside butterflies done, and then I can work my way in. So I moved the Q-snap and done this one here, and then moved down and started on this butterfly. This is being stitched on a 14 count Aida that was dyed by Paddock Lane Designs. It hasn't actually got a name because I bought it in one of her dye spot sales. As you can see, there's a couple of spots on there where the dye hasn't actually dissolved properly. Bloody words are so hard, I tell you. Yeah, so it's being stitched on 14 count Paddock Lane Designs fabric, and I am using Thread Pickers floss. So currently the three colors that I have used are Underwater Gardens for the blue, Rocky Road is going to be all the internals of the butterflies and their antennae, and then this little green one here is called sea green. So those are the three colors that I have used currently, and then I do have all of my other colors picked out because I bought these. I had these floss in my stash for quite a while, and because I bought them ages back when Eileen was having a sale. and never sort of had any use for them, or anything. Didn't sort of really think about it, and then when I pulled this pattern out to start, I was like, yes, that's the one I'm going to use all these. So those are all the other colors that I have actually currently got chosen for the other butterflies, but who knows, I could change my mind by the time we get there. So I thought might as well had them floss in my stash and might as well use them, same as all of my silks. I have so many silks, it's not funny. Because I was in the Colour of the Month Club for several years, and then I was also in the Seasons Club for several years. I've dropped both of those now, and I'm still in the Hank of the Month Club and the 12 Days of Christmas Club. Still in both of those. So I am still accumulating silks. It's just, I'm going to have to stitch faster to be able to, but to be able to start using them. But I also, with the Hank of the Month Club, you choose, one month you choose your colour, then the next month they send you a special dye colour. And it keeps alternating like that. So the colours that I've chosen on every other month are colours that I have a plan for some long dogs and stuff like that. So that will come in handy. All right, I have not added this up. Give me 2 seconds and I will. 1,022, 34. 49, 61, 70, 72.50, 78.50. If my calculations are correct, I've done 7,850 stitches in the past fortnight. That's if my calculations are correct, because we all know that I can't count at times. All right, are we going to do, yes, we might as well do these boards, and then I can go and get my other phone so we can choose my next projects and I can show you those. Alrighty-o. So we will do this board here, which is my Focus on the Finish for Protector. Now I got 12,000. Be nice if I got 12,000 stitches into it. I would be nearly done. I got 1,200 stitches into it, so it brings this total down to 12,363 stitches to go, and my percentage goes from 85.89 to 87.13%. Slowly moving up there. I don't like the way that 8 looks. Let me. Oh, still looks a bit of a dodgy 8, but it looks better. And now this is how many stitches I need to do a week. That total is going down from 331 to 317 a week, which means if I can do approximately 700 stitches in the fortnight, I will be on track. But I'm hoping that I can keep moving that and keep getting about 1,000 stitches a fortnight into Protector, so I can have it done well before the year is up. Alrighty. Get my colours out of my pens. Consider, yes we can. Alright. What's this? This is full coverage. Oh, and I was informed that I made a mistake over here. And now that I look at it, yes, I can see that I did make a mistake, as I said. My counting skills aren't the best at times. So this one here, Orca Crop, should actually be 2,800 rather than 26. What can I say? Anyway, all right, so I did only work on 2 full coverages this week. First one was Tiger Lily. At 1,500, where are we, Tiger Lily? Over here. 1,500 stitches, and that gives me 2,900, and I got a page finish for that one, so there we go. One more page finish and I will be owing myself $10. And what was I? Did I said 2 full coverages, but that was including protector. So yeah, that's all for that board. So there's my numbers so far. They've all been worked on twice. Some of them haven't got as big as numbers as others, but that's okay. We will get there eventually. Oops. Now, if I've got any new subscribers and they're wondering what these boards are for, it is just a way of me keeping track of how many stitches I do into each project for the year. And to keep myself motivated, I have given myself goals. It is 7,500 stitches for my full coverages for my first goal, and it is 5,000 stitches for my first goal for my small full coverages and non-full coverages. Once I reach those numbers, I will reward myself with $10 into a money box, and at the end of the year I will add up how much I've got, and then I can use that to buy some more stash. I am thinking I've still got, I think, 120 of my money from last year, so yeah, I still haven't thought about using it for anything. I did buy 2 meters of 25 count fabric with $40 of it. I will probably use the rest just to buy some CXC floss and kit up more projects. Rightio. Let's keep moving on here. We have Legal High. We've got 1,000 stitches into it. It gives me a total of 2,400. Then we have a Sunflower Patchwork. We got 1,100 for a total of 2,100. Modern Folk Embroidery, 1,200, and that gives a total of 2,400. Then we have Wolf Duo, 450. I'm hoping now that I've got those 2 motifs done that these numbers will start cranking along. I mean, I have only worked on it for 2 days this year, so I suppose that's not too bad. A total of 850 stitches for 2 days. That's not too bad, I guess. If I can, I will try to work on it for a couple of days in a rotation rather than just the one. Read more books. We've got 700. Excuse me, 1,300 there. And I'm waiting for this board to fall on top of me. And then we have butterflies, which is here for 600. And that gives me 1,500 total. All right, so there we are. As you can see, there is a few of them. These two here especially are almost halfway to their first goal. And some of them will reach their first goal, but won't reach the second goal because they will be finished. So also, if I do finish a project, I will reward myself $10. So we will see how much at the end of the year I have to be able to spend on my stash. All right. And this one here, all the little things, I don't even know if it will reach the 5,000 stitch goal. Because it is a paper pattern, I can't actually tell how many stitches it's actually got. But I'm probably already halfway through the pattern, and I've only done what, 1,400 stitches in it. I'm already halfway through the pattern, so that's probably going to be completed before I get 5,000. Give me a second. I will be back with my other phone so I can spin for my next projects that I will be stitching on. Back in a second. Okay, I'm back. Only minutest of times for you, but a little bit longer for me because I went to get my phone, and this is my spare phone that I have that I do a lot of recording and stuff on, and have like the wheel and all that on it, and I don't use it very often, and I'm sorry, but I've had to plug it in because it was dead. I had no battery power, so I had to plug it in to be able to get a little bit of battery power so we can do this spin, which means I had to turn my ring light off, so the lighting has gone a little bit funky, but that's all right. It's only going to be while we are doing this spin. All right, so now let's what have I done here? Okay, let's reset the wheel, shall we? And now we will spin for my next 7 projects. Orca crop. Let's just write these down as we're going. Orca crop. Without losing my book onto the ground. Spirit guides. Read more books. Butterfly sampler. The universe is telling me I need to work on those 2 more. Little things. The good thing with the wheel is I've got 21 projects and it's weighted pretty evenly between full coverage and smalls. So like there's 10 full coverages and 11 smalls, I think, something like that. So usually I get a good mix of full coverages and smalls. Horse portrait. in amongst my 7 projects. 6, that is 6, 1 more. Waterhole Master. And then we have Protector on that as well. And so that is my 7 projects for this fortnight. I will pop that back down there. Let me just plug this light back in and turn it on. So there we go, and that looks better. All right, so what I'll do is I'll quickly pause again. I will go and get these projects and I will be back to show you what they are. Right, these are projects that I am going to be working on this fortnight. Horse portrait. And this is where, oh, this is my starting point. I am thinking that I'm going to give off stitching this background, and I might start on the muzzle of the horse and the mouth of the horse, get that part done. We have a Waterhole Master, and that is my starting point. No hope of a page finish this time around. Look how much I've got to do. But yeah, so that is my starting point. Let's check that I have actually pressed the record button. Fumble fingers. Yeah. Next project is Orca Crop. And that's where I'm up to. This one may be a page finish because I don't actually have that much left in there to do. So that one may actually be a page finish. Oops, oops, oops. Then we have all the little things. Oops, that's not the one. Which is an Emma Condon pattern out of Cross Stitch for the Earth. That's what it'll look like. That is a very bad print off, but hey ho, you get the idea. And that is currently, well, that's my starting point. As I said, I think I am nearly halfway. I might probably actually stitch on this today while this video is, after I edit it, while it is being converted and then uploaded to YouTube. I think I'll stitch on this one. Then we have Spirit Guards, and that is my starting point. Depending on what days I stitch on it, I could very well be close to a page finish on it, because a lot of that's just single colours, a lot of block colours. Stitching in that section there because of the pattern. And then the last 3 are the ones that I've just shown you. So very quickly, read more books, and that is my starting point. And then my butterfly sampler and my starting point. Both of these probably may only get 1 day. I like to put at least, or I like to do 2 days into all of my full coverages, my large full coverages, just so I can get more stitches into them. These smaller ones, because they are smaller, they don't have as many stitches to finish them, so if it takes me all year just to finish one little 5,000 stitch project, that's fine. If I only work on it a couple of days, 1 day a fortnight, or 1 day a rotation when it's called. But these, the bigger ones definitely get to 2 days. So, and with 8 projects, that means a couple of them have to only have 1 day stitching, and I do have a work function 1 night this fortnight, so that cuts out that. And of course we have protector, and that is my starting point. Alrighty, so that is all the stitching, all of that sort of stuff that I've got to talk about there. So if that's all you were here for, thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed what you've seen, and I will see you next time. If you're here for a little bit of life talk, well, stick around. So as I just said, I have a work function this Saturday. I'm trying to think what day it is, and it's Monday. I have a work function on Saturday. We have a wedding, so I will be working that night, so I won't be getting any stitching in because I will be working the day as well, so double shift for me, yay. But I do have Sunday off, so I will get some good stitching into whatever project I decide to work on that day. Maybe I should, because see, I like to, on my days off, I like to assign my days off to my full coverages. So if I do get to stitching early, they even get more into them. But maybe I should assign my days off to the smaller ones that only get a single day stitching, so then I can put more hours into them. Anyway, we'll work that out. So yeah, that's the only function we've got in that fortnight, and then the following weekend is Easter, so I have 5 days off the following week. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and the Monday, which will be when I record next. I have the 5 days off, so I might be able to get some good stitching in. We're not planning on going anywhere, not with the price of petrol. I don't know what it's like anywhere else in the world, but petrol here in Australia is creeping up ridiculously every day. I filled up my car 3 weeks ago, and it cost me $70 to fill it up. I was halfway, I had half a tank of petrol, and I filled up on Saturday 25 litres. Cost me $70 because we are currently paying $2, well, when I filled up it was $2.66 a litre, not a gallon, a litre. And the poor buggers with diesel cars are paying $3 a litre. So the fellow that filled up in front of me, he's cost $180 for nearly 60 litres in his 4-wheel drive. So yeah, petrol's getting crazy, which means then everything else is going to go up in cost as well. So things are, and I am assuming that it's probably the same in a lot of the other countries around the world because of this whole kerfuffle that's happening, which we won't get into. But yeah, so things are getting very expensive, so we aren't planning on going anywhere. Usually we would probably go for day trips somewhere to national parks or something like that over the Easter. Even that's probably going to be off the books with how much petrol is. Yeah, and with me having 5 days off means I don't get paid for those 5 days. So, but yeah, so but I will get some good stitching into there, hopefully, in those days, hopefully. And yeah, so I've got that wedding, then it's Easter, and then it's funny because we've got a wedding every 2 weeks for the next 2 months, I think it is. So wedding this week, none, then another wedding, none, then another wedding, none, then another function or a wedding or something, none. Then we've got Mother's Day coming up in May. Get through May, and then May and June, and then we're rolling into July, which is July races. It's crazy that that's only like 3 months away. What are we, March? Yeah, 3 months away, and we're into July races. So that's kind of crazy. So yeah, hopefully. And I mean, of course, there may be days or nights where I just don't feel like stitching because I'm super tired from work or other things. So we will see how many days I stitch and what stitches I get in. And I don't know if I told you or mentioned it last time, my thumb. I've been having issues with my thumb for quite a while. Typical, I left it until it has got to this point of, don't know if you'd call it extreme pain. Probably for some people it is, but for me it's got to a point where it's just in here, in around that sort of section. So it catches and aches, and like you can see where I can do that with that one. That's as far as I can get with that one. So I went to the doctor about that. He sent me for an ultrasound. They'd done the ultrasound and they found a little bit of arthritis in the joint in here. But then the tendon that runs down the back of your thumb here is inflamed. And so then he was like, oh, I'll send you the physiotherapist, and it'll probably be like a brace that he'll put on, hard brace, to see if we can fix it. And then he changed his mind and said, no, how about we try steroid injections first? So I was like, yeah, rightio. I went in, handed my my referral in, and the good thing is where they do the steroid injections is right next door to work. So after work I just went in and handed all my paperwork in, and they said, oh look, it won't be until April. We've just got our schedule for the injections in. We've got to get through this stack of this stack of other paperwork, and we will ring you to make an appointment. And then when I got up this morning, I'd had a missed call from them to organise my appointment. So I'll either ring them back or I will just duck in tomorrow afternoon after work and make an appointment. But they said it wouldn't be until April sometime. So I am thinking that it will probably be after Easter that I will have that injection. And it's just to see if we can sort of do something with this tendon. If the injection doesn't work, I suppose it is to the physiotherapist and getting fitted for a hard brace that I will probably have to wear all the time. Lucky I can stitch two-handed. Now that's all I got to say, because usually I have this hand on top and this hand on the bottom, but I can swap and put this hand on top and this hand on the bottom. It's just a little bit slower going, but I can still stitch two-handed, or I will just work around it and still be able to stitch. Nothing's going to stop me. So yeah, that's happening with my thumb. After that, if the hard brace doesn't work, I suppose probably looking at an operation, but I really don't want to go down the operation route. And of course, with the arthritis being in there, I can't really, there's nothing they can actually do for the arthritis. So it's more just trying to get this tendon to fix something, whatever's going on with the tendon. There's times where like I can't actually make, I can't do that. That's as far as I can go in a pinching motion. Where's that one? It's easy movement. That one hurts. So it's definitely this tendon down here. Like, of course I can if I bring my little pinky finger over to my thumb. Yeah, easy. But yeah, so it's just, and it catches. And because I use this hand a lot at work, being a barista with the coffee machine and the group handles and all that sort of stuff, I'm constantly using this hand, and it catches and it hurts. I know if I put in big day stitching, it really aches, and I have to rub a bit of Tiger Balm oil or something like that into it, which doesn't make much difference, but it does seem to ease it off a little bit. So yeah, we will just see what happens with my thumb over that, but other than that, nothing else as much is happening. So we are nearly at an hour here, guys. I think I will just leave it as that. As I said, my next video will be, I'm pretty sure it's Easter Monday, which is going to be the 6th of April. Is going to be my next update. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there was anything. Oh, I did have a few comments on my last video about nurges and the large ones, and putting like felt and all that sort of stuff around the edges. I have tried all of that, and not one thing works. It's nearly impossible. It's to get that tight, drum tight feeling that I like in my fabrics with the large nurges. I don't know if it is a design fault. It just seems that you can't get them to sit close enough to get that screw in tight. But yeah, I have tried doubling over the fabric. I have tried putting chucks in there. I've tried putting felt in there. You've got to be careful with the felt, because depending on the color felt that you use, there can be a transference of color onto your fabric or even onto your stitches. So I don't really want that to be happening. But yeah, I've tried all of those things, and it still doesn't, the large nurges are still just not keeping the tautness for me. So I've got a couple of large ones, but I think I am going to drop down to the next size and buy a few more of the next size down, because that next size down fits one Haid page or two Pain Free Crafts or Artisy pages perfectly in them, so that's fine. I only work by page, so that's all good for me. So yeah, I probably will drop down to the next size nurge, or even just buy myself some more 11 by 11 Q-snaps, which I get off Temu anyway. I know they're off-brand ones and they're probably not as good, but I've had no issues with them. The only time I've had an issue with the clamps was when I was using that rubbery non-slip mat in between, and the rubber mat and the clamp reacted badly together and created weak spots in the clamp, and the clamp just snapped. So yeah, that's probably what I'll do. Anyway, that's it. I am going to go. Managed to talk for another 4 minutes, so we are at 1 hour now. All right, guys, I'm going to go. Or wherever you are in the world, please take care and stay safe. Until next time, bye-bye for now.